to the accommodation. What's up? So keen for Big Sound.
I guess as you do it, you get through the whole.
Alrighty guys, so we are officially at Big Sound 2019. I've got Byron in the back. He runs behind the scene music vlogs, so you should definitely check that out right now. But yeah, today's just been like a whole bunch of free beers and
free ciders.
You've done a bunch of interviews.
Yeah, I did some talk to Wither and the Dead Love. They're very, very exciting bands. You'll hear more of them in the next year.
Yes, I'm so keen for the Dead Love set as well. Yeah, what else? Pretty much just like wandered around, like checked into the Airbnb, enjoyed the sunshine.
Talked to a bunch of interesting people.
Yeah.
Made some friends.
Made some new friends. And now having some like pre-drinks and then gonna go out for a really long night of bands and just hanging out with some cool people.
Woke up and I couldn't move. I'm paralyzed, it's like I'm doing it for you. As you project your fear on.
What's up guys? It is officially Big Sound Day 2 and I'm just walking to a big tech event which showcases some of like the hottest like tech stuff in terms of like the music industry. Last night we just saw a bunch of bands, like pretty much hung out at Crowbar the majority of the time. Went and saw my friends in Red Hook at the Woolly Mammoth. So for those of you who haven't been to Big Sound before, all the venues are kind of in this one sort of block. By the way, Big Sound has its own app. I don't know if you can see, or you might be able to see in a second. And basically you create an account. I've got a delegate pass, so I've got like all the information on like conferences and stuff, but I'd still recommend that if you're not a delegate, then you can still like come to the festival. And yeah, you just like program like what's happening, like conference, festival, and you can just like scroll through and like highlight the ones that you want to go to. It's like really, really useful, and it's got a map of everything. As I said, everything's like pretty much in the same like block, but yeah, it's like pretty useful.
Just a music problem. This is a digital media problem. Across all of these channels at any point, there's $100 billion trapped in this convoluted process. I'm Daniel from Paperchain, and we've built a streaming revenue analytics and financing platform to unlock this revenue. For the first time, they can log in every morning and see their music streaming revenue for the last 24 hours. They no longer need to wait 45 days to see this.
We're just talking about his mate potentially releasing a single on a CD.
Got gig photos in the back looking like Polaroids.
That's
it's
cute.
like full retro.
It's easy when you're young to get like manipulated in a certain way, especially when like money's involved and you're like, ooh, a label, like
100%, yeah.
But we were talking about PR yesterday, and like I wanted to ask you, like obviously you run a publication, you get like hundreds of emails a week. So like, how is the best way a band can approach someone like you to get published and get like a review, say, for like an EP?
It is primarily case by case, but yeah, I'll leave it at it is pretty much, yeah, case by case. I mean, if you have a weird band name, that definitely, not saying that that's the go-to,
yeah.
but if you have a band name that's like not something something the, or the something something.
Like the last one.
Cough cough. But like we had, I think 3 people inbox us this week, like, and it's only Tuesday, right? And it's been a PR.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday, isn't it?
I know, it feels like it was just...
We get PRs hitting us up from rest of the world, Australia, and just local bands hitting us up. And a lot of the cases, like 20 paragraphs worth of, we've done this, we believe in this, we believe in this. It's like, yeah, I don't have time to read 20 paragraphs. Give me something really concise. Tell me who you've played with. Tell me what your goal is. Don't say something like, we need a feature, we need this, we'd
Like,
love a
well,
premiere.
duh, like that's why you're emailing me. Like that's kind of a given, right?
Like to be fair, we definitely are, like BTS is pretty picky about who we do end up working with. Like I do screen 85% of the things that come through.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just not the right time for a band to release. Or personally, I feel like say if there's 8 metalcore albums coming out in a month, and we get a local band releasing a metalcore album, they'd be like, yeah, I'll put you on the next time, you know?
Yeah,
I'll put
that's
you
a really
on.
good point, actually.
It's just oversaturation a lot of times. But
especially
if you
like September's like a really busy time for releases.
If you release something through like, you know, late November to January time, that's when a lot of people are quiet and they're not really working on stuff. They're working on their next year. But if you were to release something sly and you're just like, hey, we've got this coming out, here's free entry to a show, and you know, we were willing to give away a copy of the CD, or we're willing to do something that puts us in that position where you can stand above the rest just that little bit. If a band's willing to give out an album, or they're willing to give you a free pass,
which like you should, like it happens all the time.
Free publicity.
Yeah, there's like a number of like bigger like gigs that I've been to where I've been on the guest list with a +1, but there's also been like 50 to 70 to even 100 people on that guest list as well, and this is like at a like maybe 600 cap venue, and so they've sold like 500 tickets. They've got 100 people on the guest list because like it's really important like to not be precious about that. It's like get the right people to your gig. That's going to be more beneficial than like getting that $10 from someone. You've got to be hungry. Like people see like if you're continuously like putting in the hard yards in terms of like promo and like just being that dependable band that will like work really hard to like sell tickets like a support, like eventually people notice that. Push and push and push and push, and you become someone worth listening to. And I mean, if that's a gimmick, that's one thing. But if it's good songwriting and it's working hard on your craft and making the right connections and making the wrong connections, and learning from both and figuring out where it is you want to fit, what it is you don't want to do, what it is you do want to do. I mean, I've only run BTS for 2 years, but I've started up from the ground, you know, so this might make sense to anyone. This might make sense to, if you're watching this and it makes sense to you, good. But if it doesn't resonate with you, don't feel bad about it. Do what you need to do to get where you need to be. Yeah. But don't give up, and don't overthink it too hard. Yeah. Just make sure what you're doing is feeling right for you, where you're at and where you want to be. But there's something to be said for like your face being shown and like literally. It's that brand awareness type of thing. Yeah, but like literally, there's record labels fucking sitting like you could sit next to a record label. The other night, like last night, we saw IOU. We saw, I'm pretty sure there's a rep from what was name's escaping me. I'll try and think of it. Well, like the head honcho of like Unified. Unified was around. Yeah. I know that the Live Nation touring representatives were around today. Yeah, I literally got to sit down like at one of the panels and like ask the booker for Download the UK any question that I wanted, and like anyone could do that. I'm not special, like I got a delegate pass. That's it. Yeah, and like I sat down with him and like the manager of Mice and Men and like La Butcherettes, and like with these like panels that you can get when you buy like a delegate pass to like Big Sound, like how like invaluable is that? Like to ask them, okay, what do I need to do to like get on Download UK? Metalheads are like fucking nerds. They're all worried about like making a bad impression. I'm worried about making a bad impression. I'm like, oh shit, I said the wrong thing. Like, oh, I shouldn't have like said hello to that person. Like that's stupid. That's just getting in your own head. Like everyone's here to like network, and everyone's in the same boat. They just want to help each other, and like it's a real like community spirit. Like, and like today, like we were conducting interviews, and we had there were members of Skeggs walking past, you know, there was members of Violent Soho walking past. So many iconic bands are just in the one place. Like, and I'm not saying necessarily a Big Sound is going to be always the place to meet these type of people, but the more you get out there, the more you push yourself out there, the more you just you care about your brand, but you also know what you're hungry for. Then it's all the more opportunities that you can get something out of it, and that you can't get anything out of something if you don't put yourself out there. Yeah, exactly. And it's so hard, and it's like fucking intimidating, and it's like scary, like especially if you're like an unknown band, like you don't have management, and you have to like like go and meet people. Like there's carve your own path. Like no one else will carve it for you until you're something that somebody wants. Like there's so many bands here that are just like they've just come because they know that Big Sound's like good for networking, and they want to see what it's all about. I've seen so many bands that I've heard through the grapevine, like within the past 2 days, and it's like
if they weren't a Big Sound, I wouldn't have probably even given them a listen.
Yeah.
But they've made the effort to come up, and I know it is a bit of a trouble for a lot of like Melbourne and New South Wales fans.
Worth it. Like it's
totally
worth the
worth it. You
investment. Like
spend
don't be stingy.
$300, $400 accommodation, tickets, but what happens
We
if
could
you
have
meet
had
that?
6 more people crash here. Like honestly, like
Go
next
up
time.
Splitsies.
Yeah, like next time, just hit us up. Like
That's it.
me and
It's-
Byron will probably like have a
I'm
sick
gonna
pad that you can just...
every time that Big Sound gives me the okay, I'll be there. It's such an experience. Like I alone today interviewed 6 or 7 bands, which I could have done in my own time, but having Big Sound being there and being like a central hub, people are coming here exclusively to listen and find new music.
They
You're
are
not
like
coming
that
here
is
to mess
literally
around.
the purpose.
Like we had a few bands last night, just they had really, really interesting stage shows and theatrics, and by the time this airs, you would have definitely read about them.
One band set themselves on fire
Like, what the fuck? So cool.
and pegged a can of Mountain Dew at
Yeah.
like one of the organisers and got away with it. The organiser was like, I was honoured.
It's like,
That was like
not that I
relationship.
recommend it.
No, don't try that at home. Like obviously they knew each other and they
Yeah.
have a mutual respect. Like music industry is all about networking and relationships, so that's how.
and you can't network unless you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest takeaway. It's not even just Big Sounds. If you go to a festival, Unify, or a local showcase where there's 7 or 8 local bands playing, go as a punter, make friends, make those connections with those local bands. Like you shouldn't expect to be a band that people care about unless you're a band that nobody cares about for a while.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, unless you are anxious and you are nervous and you're uncomfortable, you're not going to really learn anything. If you're comfortable with something, then why are you there?
Yeah.
It's just like
If
you
you're
need
comfortable,
to be.
you're not learning.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Fuck,
just
that's good.
so many good takeaways here.
And like to summarize it, like just take care of your reputation.
That's
Just
it,
be like,
that's it.
just be rad to like
That's
work
it.
with and deal with, and then everyone will just start throwing opportunities at you because they want to
Pretty
help.
much. And be just interesting. Don't be by
Don't
the
be
book.
boring.
Yeah. Gonna have another sip of my coffee.
How do you?
Write a concept album from behind bars. There we go.
Oh, I know a band that did that. They didn't really go to jail. They just almost did. It's just one song, one good song can like really propel you. Like I know bands that have like toured overseas, like got management, got like booking agents, literally because they all just loved one song and they saw the potential and they were like, yes, we must have this band.
There's a particular Aussie band at the moment who are, they're getting where they need to be because they haven't given up. They haven't called it quits because the first song didn't get where they wanted, the second song didn't get where they wanted. They released 10 songs, but that 11th song could be the thing that sets them apart.
Yeah. I Bring Me the Horizon. I don't like their first 2 albums. Like I wasn't into like deathcore, but I like their other. I like their other stuff. Whereas you like the first 2 albums?
I love everything.
Okay.
I think they're an amazing band.
Yeah,
I think that
they are amazing.
they have shown diversity. I was just kidding about that.
Fuck.
See, like, Bring Me the Horizon is a good example because they have gone through 3, 4, 5 different genres throughout their releases.
Some fans will come along, some fans won't.
That's it, and I'm sure a lot of people who don't like AMO will like their next stuff, and that's just part of the course. But that's it. I mean, like this has been an eye opener, not like for myself as a blog owner, like, and you've got a delegate pass. You're in a band. You've been a writer for many years. You've been, what is it? It's like with heavy stuff,
Yeah.
you've been at the front of it. You know exactly what blogs are looking for. You know what bands are looking for, and the more experience you can get, the better you're gonna be.
I had no idea. Like before I started, before I started writing for a magazine, I was like so lost. I was like still basing like my whole like business philosophy off like Guns N' Roses bios.
But it is uncharted territory, and like what we say today might not even apply in 6 months time. Tomorrow. Okay, whatever. Whatever I've said, don't even listen to me.
Fucking turn this off right now. No, dude.
That's it.
Cool. That was all, basically. But cheers. How's your Mountain Dew?
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Strong?
very spicy. It's good voltage, and it's amping me up.
Yeah.
Things like this piss me off. Up here, we've got Pokey guaranteed trading hours 7 days a week. Imagine we had live music there 7 days a week. Can you imagine that?
No.
Bands frequent there. We could pay $5 and see a live show, rather than $50 and get nothing in return.
So bide your time and take another piece of me and fill your fire into the black again.
fingertips. I'll be your homemade antioxidant. It's not my fault, I'm a piece of shit. Grow up, grow up, grow up. I won't forget this until we're
I don't know if
dead.
there's an opportunity because of my gender or not because of my music. And I was wondering if you had thoughts on how to...
Yeah, I have thoughts on that because, like, right now, with all this sort of talk about cultural appropriation and stuff, and the climate in America, a person like me, like a white Jewish person, you know, working with Bob Marley and Fela Kuti, I might not have been even as encouraged to do it, but I think what makes the difference is, yeah, have the confidence in your skills. Build the confidence in your skills, then you know that you're in the right place for a reason. Do the work. Shift. Can we control the whole zeitgeist? No, maybe not. We can just push it. But we can work those waves. And I think there is a little loosening at the moment. You know, you just have to keep on doing the work. You have to do the work, it's got to be good enough. And you've got to work together to keep it pushed out. That's the only way to overcome the ageism, is to ignore it.
Woo! What's up, guys? So this morning I went to a YouTube music event where they basically demoed the new YouTube music platform and app, and we could also ask questions. So obviously I asked like all the hairy questions. I was like, how much do artists get paid? Apparently they couldn't answer that. But yeah, I was just asking how to get on playlists because they're going to start incorporating that kind of feature. And yeah, at the moment it seems really geared towards labels, which is very disappointing for artists. But at the end of the day, like, if your music's good and you're cultivating a fan base, then the onus is on you to, I suppose, the onus is on the band to do everything in their power to get up to a certain point where these other opportunities can open up for you. That's not to say that independent artists can't get onto playlists and whatnot. Apparently the playlist selection process can be done through your aggregators like CD Baby and whatnot. But I met the head of YouTube Music and he was, I don't know if he was impressed with my hard questions, especially like the how much do artists get paid. I was like very surprised that they couldn't answer that. They basically said that YouTube is a platform, whereas like things like Spotify are a service. So I don't personally understand what that means, but if any of you guys understand, then please send me a DM or leave a comment below, because I'll probably have to think about that one. But anyway, he subscribed to my band's YouTube channel, which is pretty hilarious. We've got like 200 subscribers because YouTube is not, I guess, a platform that we've been trying to necessarily build. I believe that as an emerging band, you should be building Facebook and Instagram, as that's where people are more likely to hang out. He gave me like heaps of like YouTube content ideas, and it's just the same as other platforms. Like, the more you're posting on there, the more content you're putting out on the reg. You know, obviously it's easier to get subscribers. What is up, guys? So there's a few things I want to tell you about, and the first thing is these fucking Harvest Snaps. It won't focus. These are delicious. The second thing is the bed that I've been sleeping on has been broken for 2 nights, and I didn't do it. It was like that when I got here, and I just kind of like broke it by simply like sitting lightly on it. So that's stupid. But anyway, they like came in when I wasn't here and they like full on fixed it, which I feel like is very weird because my laptop was out and like everything. Anyway, Big Sound, night number 3. Here we go. vlogging the whole weekend. I'm here with Della and Red Hook.
If your parents like your band, you're doing it wrong.
You heard it here first, guys. That is like,
I'm Alexis.
my mom thinks I'm cool.
Tell me what you want, tell me what to say, Tell me what you want, tell me what to say,